Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio today? Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This is the last day of February, the 28th. So when the market closes today, that's the end of our February trading. I hope everybody's all ready and set to go tomorrow, because tomorrow might be a bit on the lively side. Some of these markets, we've watched some paint dry, especially the indices this morning. Some people got an early start on TF and got some nice trades. I've got a chart of YM up, and I guess for people that like to scalp, it certainly could be done, but not my cup of tea. And since settlement, since midnight, since the close yesterday, this thing has moved. I think I've got a 10-tick chart, and I don't know how many. It's about a half a dozen bars. So needless to say, there's just not a lot of excitement there. ES looks like it's been about the same. If you are a Nadex trader, boy, today is butterfly day. This is an assorted other insects, whatever it is you like. I think Jack likes albatrosses, anything with big wings, but boy, today was a really nice premium collection day on those. Everything has been just about the same, and crude oil finally this morning decided to move. It took it a while, but since from midnight on until about, 8 o'clock, 8:10 or something, it just flat did not move. It's like it's stuck. And all of a sudden, some volume came in, and it's been drifting downwards ever since. It's kind of running out of enthusiasm here, but it may go down a little bit more. It's got a big magnet down at that 1.5 deviation. I'm not sure it's going to break too much below 1 deviation right now. But if it does, it could go on down to the 53 handle, and if it gets down in that area, then it could get another 20 ticks out of it, but I wouldn't be holding my breath here, frankly, on any of it. The yen had a nice move up, and then it turned around and backed off. So if you like to trade that, and the Canadian dollar was about 10 o'clock, it was a little displeased about something. So this morning, what we had this morning was a very interesting number. It's this preliminary GDP, and this is the quarter over quarter, so this would have been the last quarter of last year. And it had been forecast at 2.1, and it came in at 1.9. So anytime GDP numbers are below 2, frankly, when they're below 3, this is not, it does not portend well for the U.S. economy. When we get into the next couple, 3 weeks, and the FOMAC meeting comes up and their announcement and all that stuff, they could use that to hold off with their interest rate raising project for another quarter to see if these numbers can get. But this is the preliminary. Keep that in mind too. But the Chicago PMI came in higher than expected, and that was a good thing. So the consumer confidence. I love these consumer confidence reports put out by a bunch of bureaucrats, but they're trying to make it look, I think, a little more exciting than maybe it really is. Everybody's on a watch and see. The big thing that's happening over the next 24 hours, and it's definitely worth paying attention to, and that is this speech the president's going to give to Congress and the nation this evening. This is a really, really big deal because it will be watched around the world. And if you are a fan of getting up in the middle of the night to trade the London Open, I would tell you that you're likely to see the London market express what Europe thinks about that speech, and that will spill over into what happens at the U.S. Open. And the big indicator that will give us all a clue, if you have a demo account, it's available to you in your NinjaTrader, and that is the DAX. It's in Ninja as FDAX, FDAX, and that's the German. It's the equivalent of the Dow 30 to Germany, and the German economy and the German markets are the strongest in continental Europe anyway. So might watch that. Gold's deciding it might sell off here a little bit. It pushed up to settlement. For those of you who haven't quite wrapped your head around all the apex different price levels and the big things we pay attention to, settlement is probably the biggest and most important one. And if you look at a gold chart, it has tried to break settlement 3 times this morning and failed every single time. So gold may not be able to hold this, especially if the dollar responds to this speech tonight and jumps up. So pay attention to that. And yes, thank you, Aaron. That's excellent. Aaron always puts really good stuff in this chat, so be sure you pay attention when he puts something in here. But he's got a date of March 15th is the U.S. debt ceiling expires. And, you know, not that the U.S. government is in debt or anything. Anyway, it's going to be, you know, a lot of cage rattling over whether they're going to shut the government down because they ran out of money. It's never stopped them before. They just print more. But it will make the markets nervous. Keep in mind, markets all have a personality, and what they like and they don't like, they're real clear about, and they're very clear about. They do not like any uncertainty. They don't want anybody jerking their chain. They want everything humming along just like it's supposed to, with no monkey wrenches out there. And these are a bit uncertain times. I think this new Secretary of the Treasury may bring a little more confidence into Wall Street than it has had in the past, and I certainly hope so. But anyway, this is a big, big deal tonight. So, and it doesn't matter what you think politically. That's not the issue. The issue is, for us as traders, what does the market think? And the market's going to have a response to it. That's for sure. So, and this evening, for those of you who like to trade in the evening, this speech is coming at 9 o'clock Eastern. So depending on wherever you are, but if you normally trade the Asian market open, it also might sit there and jitter for a little while to see what's going to happen. So tomorrow morning will be standard crude oil inventory day. And the other thing that comes just before that inventory tomorrow you might want to pay attention to, the Bank of Canada is going to have a rate statement, and they may raise their overnight rate. So keep in mind that the Canadian dollar typically tracks crude oil, and they trade kind of like the Bobbsey twins as a rule. So that comes out 30 minutes before the inventory. But at 8:30, when we usually have, some U.S. news, I mean, if we're going to have those numbers releases, they typically come at 8:30, and tomorrow's no exceptions. The core PCE price index and personal spending and income numbers will be released. And then coupled with how Europe will respond to this speech tonight, there's a bunch of European numbers releases, and one of them is the M4 money supply from London. So all these things kind of factor in, and we're going to try and watch this. Yeah, yes. That the election in France, boy, this is going to be. I have an idea that's going to be a wild ride. The French are none too pleased right now, so we'll see if they are as displeased as the Brits said they were. But April is the French election. And I think I've mentioned this before, but if you're new and you think we're all in here being crazy, you'd be right about that. That's for sure. But if you're not a news junkie, you probably need to get that into your trading plan, to pay much closer attention to the news and news numbers than you have in the past. With all this posturing and what have you that's going around, in the Straits of Hormuz right now also, if there should be something and there's all of a sudden a bunch of attacks on the oil supply through there, you can expect the crude oil market to respond instantly. And those are things that, they don't make an announcement ahead of time. It would just happen. So this is another reason that we're real adamant about you always trade with stop. You must trade with a stop loss. Anything can happen. So we've got the VIX coming up a little bit. I mean, wow, it's up to a whole 1258 right now. That's amazing. And I think that's about all I can think of until tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, especially before you get started, please double check the times the economic numbers are released and get a feel for how Europe has responded to this speech. Because when the U.S. market opens tomorrow at 9:30, I don't know what could happen, but I'm pretty sure something's going to happen. So, I think that's about it for today. The other thing is, though you don't have anything else to think about, and none of us do, is that tomorrow starts the first trading day of the month of March, and March will be the last trading month of the first quarter. So if you are tracking your production and your numbers by months and then by quarters. How you end up March is where you are 25% of your year is completed. So March needs to be, it's a longer trading month. I think we have 22 or 23 days, trading days. And this is also time to review your month of February and get set to take on March, because the whole idea is to improve, and you need to have a checklist of what is it you're going to improve on, and what items are you going to educate yourself a little better on, and what do you want to get more confident doing, and these kinds of things. So all this fits into your trading plan and your whole trading life. So spend a little time with that. It is well worth it, and most of it is all in your head, and you just have to sit down and really, really think about that, and then commit it to paper, because until you have it written down someplace, it's not going to happen. You're just kind of wishing for it. I think that's about it. Where I cannot tell you how much work is going into these new indicators that are coming out, and they will be provided to everybody that's in the elite room. So it's a matter of waiting till they're ready. Right now, the programmers have made enormous strides. It's not only this order print that we were talking about in here. And for those of you who are not familiar with what we're talking about, it allows you to see numbers, the orders within the bar. So when you see like on the crude oil chart, there was an elevator right in here, just right about this 7 deviation level, and you can actually see where the orders are within there. And once we learn how, the programmers have pretty much got it programmed, and then we learn how to use it and then convert that into something that is teachable. It just takes time. I wish there was, nobody wishes there was a magic wand more than Lori does, believe me. Lori's got I think the whip has been turned over to her, so she's cracking it with post haste. So we appreciate your patience, because this has been a real project. It's been ongoing for well over a year. And we're closer to getting it out than it has been. All I know is it's going to be well worth it when it gets there. So your patience is most appreciated. And stay tuned. So this has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll